Good morning. Welcome back to another video. Now today we're gonna get straight into it. I am at the shop, as you can already tell. We're gonna be getting into a tutorial today. This is the perfect time to do a 2025 edition sew-in for a super flat result. So we're gonna get her washed and then we're gonna get straight into it. Hope y'all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to stay the whole video and let me know if you learned something. This is my friend Demorier, and today we're going to be doing a middle part. And if you know, you know that a middle part is literally like surgery, getting that part to make sure it's straight. So realistically, do not feel bad if you're parting and parting and parting and parting, because you do want to make sure it is in the middle. And as a stylist, perfectionist is like your middle name, literally. So then I take probably like mid head and I will part out and then down, depending on how much leave out I want to leave out. Usually it's minimal leave out, but that is depending on how thick or thin their hair is. Obviously, if their hair is a little bit thinner, you want to leave out more. Thicker, you'll leave out less. After the parting, I'm going to take that leave out and braid it out of the way. Some people do one big braid, some people do two braids. I do two braids, one on each side of the part. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And then I'm just really going to go and do the same exact thing on the other side, making sure that it's the same amount of hair. I want to make sure it's even on both sides so you don't have less leave out or more leave out on either side. Here I'm showing you how I take the comb and kind of slant it. I don't know if that's what it's called, but you see how I kind of got it going towards the middle. I do this because I like to make my middle parts like start at the very beginning of the hair. So I feel that when I part it and then I slant it inwards, I can get that braid really close to the beginning of her hairline, if that makes sense. I do that with all my clients, but especially clients like my friend, because she has a widow's peak and it's easier to blend, because usually the widow's peak may be a little bit smaller or shorter hair. I do not like push back middle parts. We don't play that. So that's how you can make sure that your middle part, the weave, is flowing with your hair. As you can see, like I said before, parting. It's normal. Don't feel bad. Perfectionist is our middle name. And do what you gotta do to make sure parts are straight and things are even. Now that we have the leave out of the way, we're going to go in with our first braid. It's going to be right on the side of your leave out, as close as possible and as small as possible. The smaller the braid, the better. As you can see that I have taken my comb and I've literally went right next to it, following that slanting line in the front and ending the part right where the leave out stops, which is like the middle section of the head. I'm gonna go ahead and braid just like the part is going. So starting at that slanting line, slanting and going straight back. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm just starting the parting from the back, but it's the same thing. Follow that little slant, go straight back, small braids. Don't forget, small braids, girl. That's how you're gonna get it real flat. Now that we got our two braids on each side of the leave out, we're going to go in with what I guess I will call like an anchor braid. So I'm going to start off by parting straight back, like if I was going to do another one of those braids that's going with the with the leave out. And then I'm going to go down. So if you're following the video, you pretty much see what I just did. So the first part, and I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm going to go half of the braid that's next to the baby hair. Why do I keep saying baby hair? I mean leave out. Then I'm going to go down like the edges, and then I'm going to go around the back to the other side. Once I start braiding, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Okay, here I'm going to start braiding as soon as I move my elbow so you can actually see. There we go. Right about there. You can see where the braid will start. And then I'm going to go down the side adding braiding hair because these are the edges. They're weaker, but we don't want too much tension. But we do want the braid to be strong enough to hold the tracks and last. As I'm coming around the ear, I'm going to add some more baby hair. I don't know what it is with me and baby hair. Braiding hair to the braid. Again, for the back, the nape is a lot weaker from you bending your head up and down. That braid usually is one of the first ones to come down. So that braiding hair will hold it. And I do that braid because I just like to get all of my tracks in the head, and I like them to start right at the bottom of the head. It creates a little bit more length with the weave too. I'm doing the same thing on the other side the exact same way, adding the baby hair. Oh, if I say baby hair one more time, oh my God. Let me breathe, because adding the braiding hair to the edges. But you don't have to add it to the back this time because that braid that you did on the other side is going to go all the way across. So once you go down the side and around the ear, you're just going to connect that braid to the bottom braid to make it one. If you're not really grasping what I'm saying, don't worry. At the end of me braiding, I'm going to spin her around so that you can see exactly where the braids are going in the back.
put the blame on me for giving you chance after chance. I love you, can't stand, and I try to be strong, but how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope you.
Okay, cool. So now we got the most important 4 braids. We're going to go ahead and braid up the middle. I'm going to explain this and then I'm going to really skip the video so you don't have to watch me braid everything down. So as you can see, I follow that braid that was going down the like by the edges. I'm gonna part everything down and around. So following the exact little parting map out that I did with that second braid that goes down and around. So as you can see, part down, braid, follow the other braid, and I'm going to actually, I went so fast, I have flipped up that braid into the other braid to make it one. But I think I slowed down a little bit to kind of show you. Okay, I'm starting the second braid, and this is a big thing with making sure that your sew-in is really flat. So what you're gonna do is you're going to start the braid halfway down. You're going to split the hair, take the braid from the other side, pull it up, and then move the other hair back. You're gonna take out of your 3 pieces of hair, put that braid in one section of that, and then begin to braid probably like 2 or 3 little braids, and then add in the rest of the hair, and then it'll continue as one braid. I slowed it down for you can see it. Hopefully you grasp what I'm saying. If you don't understand, drop it in the comments and I can literally make a little short to explain that part. But this is really important because this is going to make sure that the braids are flat and not bulky, no matter how long the hair is. Now I'm showing you everything all braided. That bottom braid that I was explaining, all of the hair being looped up, other side, and you are literally prepared for a very, very flat sew-in. You can't forget the oil. I don't know why we was laughing, but don't forget the oil, okay? You ain't trying to have your girls out here itchy, patting, beating. They probably gonna be doing that anyway, but at least put some oil on that scalp. Alright y'all, it's 2025 and we are putting neck caps on our curls before we sew it in, because for one, it's going to make that sew-in last a lot longer. It's not going to be too much tension on the braids, and for you it's going to be a lot neater. So you're going to take your thread and you're literally just going to outline it. So you start with that braid, the first 2 braids on the side, go around, go down, and around. Like, you literally just trace everything. That's another reason why those braids are important, because it's going to give you that guide and exactly where to sew this cap down. It's 2025, y'all. Invest in these. I know sometimes it'd be like, I ran out of caps, but make sure that you have these caps. It literally makes your sew-in just that much better. I know you're thinking, oh, it ain't that big of a deal, but I swear it really is. I've had clients come back to me for sew-in maintenance once a month, and when I say everything is still intact, very much tight.
First see the city skylight shining from my room. Yes, such a sight to see in the month of June. Beautiful like the moon's reflection when it's passing off your skin. And before you let me in, I hear you say,
Okay, y'all, so we're coming to the end, and I don't know if y'all know this yet, but I'm just going to let y'all know that at the end, when you're about to run out of thread, you're going to take your needle, put it a little way through, and then you're going to wrap your thread around it about 3 or 4 times and then pull it. That's going to really, really lock that in. And then, of course, you're going to cut it and tie it and then cut it again. That way, no tracks or nothing is slipping when you do that. But I'm going to go ahead and take the scissors and cut off the excess cap, and we're going to get into sewing. So this is her second or third time installing our bundles that you need to check out. So I'm just making sure that this is the right piece for this. I'm going to take my first track, just a single track, start at the very beginning where that slant is from that first braid. And then I'm going to follow the braids that's going down the side and around the back. Another threading tip is you want to make sure that initial beginning part of the weft, you want to put the needle actually through the weft, like stick it through the weft. All the other times you don't necessarily have to do that. I just make sure that it's going like underneath the track and the braid, and then I throw the thread on the other side of the needle, and that's going to make like a loop. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you literally just put it through the track and the braid, pull it, take one piece of the thread, throw it on the other side of the needle, and pull it. You will begin to see the loop. It just makes sure that everything is locked into place. And as you see, I'm literally just following the braids all the way around, and we're going to end it where we started it, just on the other side. Also, make sure that you're sewing in that track underneath the braid for this, because if this was the case where she wanted to put her hair in a ponytail, it would be able to like flip up without having it being, bulky. And even if she doesn't want to do that, this really helps to promote that flushed and flat look that you're looking for. So definitely make sure that you're putting it right underneath that braid and locking it in. Don't forget when you're ending that track that you take the needle and put it through the track again. Stick it through the track. You're going to do that when you start a track and when you end a track to make sure that it don't flip out or slip out. Everything is intact. Okay, we are finishing up our first track, and you can already see how it's framing her face. Like we said, we don't like pushbacks, sew-ins. We don't like pushback middle parts. We like them to go towards our face, starting at the beginning of our hairline. So you can see already how that's flowing. Seamless, good start. So now we're going to take double wefts, and we're going to start probably above the ear, and we're literally just going to go in a U shape. It's not much to talk about with this. This is more so a look and learn type of thing where you'll see the motion and the direction. I want to mention, because I know there's a lot of talk about cutting tracks, I do cut the track about 2 times, and that is to ensure that things are very flat, because I do go from one track to like double tracked. So just a heads up. We are going to get into flipping the track for a seamless sew-in. So, as you can see, I'm taking the 2 wefts. I'm going to pull the bottom piece and pinch it. So now I only have 1 piece of the double weft. So I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to go through the braid and through the actual track, the pinch part at the very end. And then I'm going to pull it very tight to make sure that the braid is laying flat. The weft is laying flat to the braid, and then I'm going to go and do that again. And then I'm going to continue to sew that little part. Now you see me putting the 2 tracks back together. You want to make sure that the bottom track is laying on the side of the second track. Here you can see the 1 track becoming 2. That bottom track needs to lay on the bottom of the second track. And then you continue to sew the 2 as normal. Okay, y'all, so my feelings are hurt because I just realized that I'm missing a video. I don't know what happened to it, but I was explaining my last track and what I do as far as sewing it to make sure that it's super flat at the top. So you know the braid that is right next to the leave out, you're going to take one piece of hair, no longer doing the double wefts, and you're just going to sew that right across on that braid. And you want to make sure that it is laying super flat. I would say do not sew on top of the braid, sew kind of like on side of it, if that makes sense. Sewing right on top of it could lead to a little bit of height, and we don't want that. I'm so sorry that I couldn't get that because that is an important part. But if you just follow exactly what I said, then you will have it very flat too. I'm just finishing up around the head. Again, I'm so sorry for missing that important part. But like I said, if you just listen to exactly what I said, then it'll be flat. You already have the basics to the flat sew-in, so you should be good without that part. Again, this is going to be one of the parts when you seal it with that last braid that you will cut the track, because again, you want to use just one track when you get to the very top of the head. And then we're going to move on to blending that leave out, because the sew-in is important, but the leave out is like just as important. I do use a wax stick and I use a hot comb. Not the one that you plug in, but a real hot comb, because I need it to be real hot. So you go in and you just go over where the leave out is. You want to make sure that you're blowing when you're using that hot comb, because it does get extremely hot. And you want to pull the hair while you're hot combing, because it's going to make sure that you get like all the way to the root. And then take the flat iron and blend in the rest of the hair to the tracks. Aside from flat ironing the tracks, we are all done. Look at my girl, a super flat result. It looks super natural. I usually flat iron my hair before I even do the leave out, so that's why that part wasn't in there. But look at it. And like I said, this is the second or third time using these bundles, so please make sure to follow my Instagram so that you can get access to these bundles as well. Super sleek and flat. I hope you learned something. See you guys next time.